early morning of the 27th of May 2017 in Stellenbosch, Cape Town. After being beaten near fatally, a man woke up from the bushes near a side road to his head buzzing and heavy, and one ear ringing. Lucky and grateful to be alive, he remembered a pack of men attacking him and his female friend. As he looked around, it dawned on him that the men left with his friend. He realized the urgency of the situation and did everything he could to inform the police about the attack and hopefully find his friend. This is the story of Hannah Cornelius. Hannah Cornelius was born on the 13th of February in 1996 to parents Willem and Anna Cornelius. She was raised in a very loving home with parents who absolutely adored her and her little brother who was diagnosed with autism. Born and raised in Stellenbosch, South Africa, with her mother a respected lawyer and her father a judge, Hannah lived a comfortable life. She was described as a beautiful, kind-hearted, and very intelligent soul who cared a lot about other people and who would do her very best and even go beyond to help out someone in need. Her parents said they could not remember one time she was disobedient. She was always her best self, which included selfless, caring, and wanting to see everyone happy. Hannah's parents said on her 16th birthday she told them that she didn't want any gifts, but rather she bought toys with the money and distributed the toys to children who were less fortunate, who lived not far from her home. Hannah's friends described her as a fun, cheerfully caring friend who always went an extra mile for her friends. She also loved playing the piano, which she was very good at, and was a huge animal lover. After graduating from high school with very high marks as she was very intelligent, Hannah set her eyes on Stellenbosch University. She enrolled and studied her language, literature, and philosophy studies. This came as a surprise to her parents because they had thought Hannah would follow in their footsteps and do something in law. But eventually they warmed up to the idea that Hannah was taking her own career path and were even more proud of their daughter. Hannah set her sights on her next big dream she wanted to see through. She wanted to travel to France after completing her course. With goals in mind and dreams to be realized, Hannah was excited to find out what the future had in store for her. But the future held a very dark and devastating reveal. Early hours of the 27th, after midnight, Hannah was hanging out with a group of her friends when one of her friends, Cheslin Marsh, told her that he had come there with a skateboard because his home was not that far out. Hannah, being a thoughtful, caring friend, told Cheslin that she didn't like that he would use the skateboard to go back home alone, that it's not safe at that time of the night. So she offered Cheslin a ride, to which he of course accepted. When they arrived at Chaslin's home, Hannah parked at a parking spot to drop off Chaslin, and they chatted for a while. When they saw four men walking past the car, laughing and talking about. Little did they know that they were spotted by the men, and the guys were planning an attack. The four men were 33-year-old Vernon Whitboy, 27-year-old Geraldo Parsons, 29-year-old Nashville Julius, and 28-year-old Eben van den Berg. CCTV footage captured the moment the four men encircled the vehicle. Armed with a screwdriver and a pocket knife, they approached Hannah's car. Hannah's driver window was not shut, so one of the men threatened Hannah with a screwdriver pointed at her throat. Hannah opened the door. The gang took the pair's valuables and their money. Nashville Julius then left with the stolen items, leaving the other three men. Cheslin was then forced into the back seat and then the boot of the car while Hannah was cramped between the two front seats and driven around. The men were again caught on CCTV footage as they drove by a local petrol station where they stopped to withdraw some money from Cheslin's bank card. However, Cheslin had given them the wrong PIN number. This enraged the man. Cheslin said in the new documentary covering Hannah's story, "I kept telling her basically to stay calm the whole time. Everything is going to be okay." They went to buy drugs, and at around 5:30 in the morning, while high on drugs, the men stopped the car and ordered Cheslin out of the trunk of the car and continued to beat him with bricks. Cheslin would later say, "They were taking me into the bushes and they told me I should lay my head on a piece of brick. That's when I realized these people are going to kill me." They beat Cheslin almost to death and left him there thinking he was dead, but fortunately Cheslin was hanging on by a thread. Hannah was then taken to a nearby farm road next to a vineyard and a stream by the men. She was then sexually assaulted, stabbed in the neck, and was hit by a 2 feet large rock, which was used to cover a ball hole twice on her head, which delivered the fatal blow. After killing Hannah, the gang continued the crime spree, chasing a woman walking to work in Crayfontaine, stealing her bag and phone. They went on to terrorize a total of 3 women. Cheslin woke up from the brutal, near-fatal attack, deaf on one ear, not knowing if Hannah was alive. He knew he would have to find help as soon as possible for Hannah, so he managed to get a hold of the local police station to report the attack. The police then went on a search trying to find Hannah and her car. That's when they spotted Hannah's car driven by a group of guys. When the gang realized that the police were on their tail, a high-speed chase ensued, and eventually the gang was apprehended and arrested. Hannah's parents were heartbroken when they were informed of the incident and that Hannah was no longer coming home. Anna, Hannah's mom, was broken, and her brother couldn't understand why Hannah was not coming home. Hannah was soon taken to her final resting place. The tragedy had profound effects on Hannah's family. Anna Cornelius, Hannah's mother, passed away a year later. She drowned while taking her daily swim. The death was ruled an accident. Hannah's dad, William, said the impact of his daughter's death on the family was beyond devastating. He also remarked that Anna might not have had the physical or mental strength to cope with the loss of their daughter. During the police interrogation, Whit Boyd described how terrified Hannah was. He said she didn't talk at all and was just looking straight ahead in front of her. During the trial in 2018, Hannah's 11-hour horror ordeal was described in detail, how Hannah suffered at the hands of 4 gang members. Parsons said they believed they had killed Cheslin, and he admitted to be the first one to sexually assault Hannah. The callous killers even offered her a glimmer of hope, claiming they wanted to take them both home. Hannah's heartbroken father, William, admitted during the trial that it had taken him a while to attend the court proceedings because he didn't want to hear what had happened to his beloved daughter, who was described as a daddy's girl. During the court proceedings, the 4 perpetrators were laughing and playing around as if nothing was wrong. They showed absolutely no remorse. The 4 gang members were tried and sentenced. 3 of the 4 received life sentences. Vernon, Eben, and Geraldo were found guilty and sentenced to 2 life sentences each, and Nashville Julius, who aided in the robbery and left with Hannah and Chelsea's belongings, was sentenced to 22 years. Just before Hannah's mom, Anna Cornelius' death, she and her husband, William Cornelius, went on to create the Hannah Cornelius Foundation to help children in their local area get into education and escape the violence within their community. More tragic news would befall the family, however. Sadly, William, Hannah's dad, was diagnosed with cancer roughly 3 months after his daughter's death and tragically succumbed to the illness on the 9th of December 2022. Hannah was such an amazing person. She had so much empathy and compassion that it defined her. That's who she was, a helper, a friend, someone to count on no matter what, and would never let you down. The senseless, heartbreaking tragedy left a family broken and a community grieving. May Hannah and her parents, Anna and William Cornelius, rest peacefully.